So I thought I'd put a review up on my experiences with the Evernote edition of the Jotscript pen. I've been using it maybe about 6 months now. This is actually my second one. I'll get into that in a second. But so far I've been very, very happy with this. But I'll go over my review, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and so on. So basically it comes in it's not really an unboxing video, but a little plastic case like this with instructions. Very, very easy to set up. Just turn your Bluetooth on and then press the button here and it will connect. So once you see the green light, it'll start flashing. Then you'll just need to connect. It'll connect automatically to your iPad. This is an iPad Air. I also will show you that it works with iPad Mini. So I've got a Best Skins Ever matte finish on this. And I believe the only difference is you may have to hold it just a little bit more upright than if you did not have a skin. But so far I have, you'll see how smooth it writes and everything here shortly. They do recommend that you use a lithium battery instead of just a regular battery. And I've used both successfully. When I did start having problems with the initial pen, I kind of switched over to the lithium. Didn't solve the problems there, but from this, the second version of the pen I have, or the second pen I have, I started using the lithium and it's been good ever since. So I keep a spare one in my bag at all times. I originally started, well, the reason why I wanted a pen like this is I always carried my iPad and never forgot it. I obviously have a lot of fun stuff on there, whatever. And whenever I traveled, I would sometimes leave my regular notebook at home. So I'd have to go out and buy another one, which is fine. However, I ended up having 3 or 4 notebooks, a couple at home, whatever. And this was just a good way for me to keep everything in one place. So it was very nice from that perspective. So I tried a couple of the other ones, just styluses or whatever, styli. And the tip was fat. It just bugged me. It just didn't write very well. It was almost a rubber tip, and it dragged on the screen and so on. So I really, really liked the concept of the very small stylus on this, or tip on the stylus. So it does have a Bluetooth connection, and the reason for that is it will kind of ignore your wrist. There's some settings that you can get into. I won't trouble you with that, but it'll basically, with the Bluetooth connection, know that if you're writing up here, that you can set your wrist down and you can see that it's not writing over there. Occasionally, if you have a ring or something like that, it may pick up your finger or something, but very rarely. See there, I just did it right there. Very rarely will it do that. You almost have to try to do it. So anyways, first to my initial experience is I had one pen. I used it for maybe the period of 2 months. I didn't really jump in head first with it, and started having connectivity issues where I'd write for a while and I would disconnect, and then I would try to connect again. Tried a different battery. Sometimes they say the springs on here need to be stretched out a little bit. I tried that. Coming to find out, it is some problems that other people have had. However, my experience with their tech support was fantastic. They swapped out the pen. They sent me one in advance, I believe, and I sent them the bad one back, and could not be happier. This one I've been using for maybe about 2 months solid. It is my main note-taking device. So yeah, I've been very, very happy with it, and definitely highly recommend it. If you travel a lot, if you're digital, all digital, highly recommend it. So the main reason I use Penultimate is its connectivity, or ease of use, or uploading, or whatever you want to call it, to Evernote. Been very happy with that. I use Evernote a lot. I love Evernote. So I chose Penultimate and been very happy. You can have many different notebooks. I won't open that up just because I have a lot of personal stuff in there. So, but you can search on your handwritten notes. unlike this style, where I've got a bunch of stuff I got to actually manually go through, even with my chicken scratch, you can go back through and you'll be very surprised at what it'll actually search in. So I've done a previous search prior to this video on just Jotscript. This is the only time I've ever written it in this notebook. And you can see that here it finds it. So it finds Jotscript. So very, very cool. You can see my writing here or whatever. So it interfaces automatically into Evernote. I can see this on my computer. So it's very nice if I don't have my iPad, if I'm at my dad's house, whatever. You can do quick searches on your own text, which you cannot do with the old style notebooks. So with all that being said, let me just show you my experience or how it writes for me. I do not have the best handwriting in the world, so warning there. But I can show you my experience or how it writes for me. Again, have a little skin on here, but we'll just go ahead and write. So test 1, 2, 3. And you can say, well, maybe I wasn't writing very well. A lot of times I will start writing and realize that maybe I need to write a little bit different. I'm not completely converted over to this way of writing yet. So you can either you can clear page, get out of that, or you can just clear this. You can either do it with a pen. If you notice, the faster you go, or you can kind of go slower, it'll do change the size. So if we go real slow, I can just do something like that. Or you can go real fast and it erases all of it. So very nice from that aspect. And again, if you're writing with a pen, this style notebook, you cannot usually just mark out. So I find myself maybe being more efficient writing notes this way. Sometimes once you get in the groove, I'm definitely more efficient. So I don't typically write in cursive. When I take notes for work or travel or what have you. I don't know how the search function will work in Evernote and that sort of thing, but you can leave it up to you. And oh, by the way, I do believe you can search within Penultimate as well with that little magnifying glass, but I don't typically do it that way. So yeah, let me just write a couple things just so you can see it. Yeah, so this is a test of the Jotscript. And see, there's a little bit where I kind of convert my style, I guess, and then I have to change it pen. So I got just a little bit too sideways, and again, ignore my writing. Yours, I'm sure, is going to be better. But you can see that it flows very well, even with this cover on there. I suspect without the cover, and we'll test it here on my other iPad, you can go a little bit more to the side. So let's just clear that. So now let's give you just a straight text, if you will. Got a little bit of a artifact there, but not a big deal. So this is a test for YouTube. You do have to be a little bit more deliberate and perhaps leave it on the page, if you will, just a little bit longer than normal. And that's where I usually, when I start to try to write fast, where it gets a little bit sloppy and cuts off the letters, perhaps like this T here that you see. But, you know, the more I do it, like if I go on a trip, usually like by the second page of notes, I'm really back in the groove. So 1, 2, 3. So again, flows very well. It's nice. Another cool thing, you can cut and paste. So let's go around here, and then you can move this down there if you want. Move it back. Hit OK. Let's just clear that. So let's just go this, move this down here. So that part is also very, very nice, and I've had many occasions where I've used that part as well. So yeah, so this is iPad Air. Works great with it. I love it. And let me show you, this is with a screen, and I'll switch over to, this is a mini. And here's the notes I was reading off. These were actually the notes that were synced into Evernote. So let's just go over and let's try this. Is a test of the pen. So definitely a better experience. There is no screen on this. It does have the, you can probably see it, fingerprints and other kids' gunk on it from my kids using it. So just to show you the difference, it definitely does write better on this. We can do test 1, 2, although my handwriting is awful. But I do think occasionally you may get an artifact or two where there's a screen protector versus not. So usually when you do like something small like that, you'll get a little bit of an artifact on the screen protector style iPad. So of course you can do many different styles. I like the thin black, but as you can see here, you can choose the width of the pen, you can choose the color. So if I want to go thicker, if I want to go red, you can change the way that it connects, but that's fine. And then you can see here, test 1, 2, 3. Also, I know some people use Sketch, so this is something that works well in Sketch as well. So I just used a map screenshot. You can use a picture if you want. You can draw arrows. So this app doesn't seem to like the wrist, being on there, doesn't like it as much, but you can still White House right on it. Then it turns to black. You can again change colors, whatever you want to do. So can't really recommend it for Sketch, but I just know it does work in there. I don't believe, or maybe I don't have it set up, but I don't believe the wrist protection is on there. So yeah, that's it. Again, highly recommended if you travel a lot. It's not a cheap device. I think it was $75, $80 on Amazon Prime. So yeah, with that you can buy probably 20 of these little notebooks or whatever. However, again, the main thing that I bought it for was the ability to have all of your data at one point. And again, it goes right into Evernote, and highly recommend it. So let me know what you think. And that's it. Thank you.